But first, more than 400 sex abuse lawsuits were filed across New York State on the first day of a new one-year window for older molestation cases. Hundreds, if not thousands of people had been expected to sue as the state allowed molestation lawsuits that had been blocked by the statute of limitations. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris is in Syracuse, where a press conference just took place announcing 6 new lawsuits today.
The Child Victims Act has opened up the floodgates. These 2 law firms today announced 6 new lawsuits against the Syracuse Diocese, but they say another 22 are in the queue, and those are likely to involve more Utica area victims and priests. One of the 6 lawsuits announced today involves former Utica area priest Father Felix Colosimo, now deceased. Attorneys were able to tell us a little bit about this alleged victim and this case.
John, this happened in 1976, and at the time the survivor was 17 years old. He had been very active as a parishioner and an altar boy in the church, and he was abused by Father Felix Colosimo.
And 2 more suits filed just yesterday are local. One involves Boy Scouts of America and the Leatherstocking Council. The other involves Stokes Elementary School in Rome. We'll have much more on those later today on the Live at 5 News Hour and on News Channel 2 at 6. More on today's cases announced here in Syracuse as well. Back to you.
All right, Jolene Ferris, thank you. Now, we told you about this next lawsuit last night here on News Channel 2. Stephen Moran, now likely in his 70s, says he suffered his entire life because of the roughly 6 years of abuse at the hands of Father Thomas Neary. You can find the details in Moran's 26-page lawsuit, which names St. John the Evangelist Church, the Syracuse Diocese and Catholic Charities, and a Camp Nazareth. Neary, at the time, was alleged abuse was assigned to St. John the Evangelist Church in New Hartford, where he served in the mid to late 50s and early 60s. The lawsuit alleges the abuse took place during car rides to secluded places at the church and the priest's parents' home in Solvay, among other unnamed places, and that the priest forcefully kissed Moran on the lips and forcefully raped him and sodomized him. And the lawsuit says, quote, despite the diocese and St. John's knowledge that Neary sexually abused children and or had the propensity to sexually abuse children, the diocese and St. John's allowed Neary unfettered access to the children. Father Neary died in 2001. Now, the diocese and other parties named in that lawsuit have 20 to 30 days to respond, depending on how they were served. The suit seeks punitive damages and the amount that a jury would see